This is a demo for Capital Expenditure Request approval process. We're logging into Web Center, and here is a capital expenditure space in Web Center. So we have a CER homepage, and this is the BPM workspace shown through Web Center. So we have our CER actions, and that's our process. The process here is create CER or upload historic CER, and then we have our CER pending tasks. So that's where any work that you have would show up right down there. One of the requirements for this application was to have a budget. So every year, a budget will be entered. You can enter line of business, initiatives, and then the dollar value for that budget. The CERs link back to the budget. And we also have a search page. So this search page allows you to go back and search for any prior CERs that are currently approved. So you can see the name, and the CER information populates underneath on selected CER details. So we also have some reports. Those are OBIEE reports that are shown through. We're going to get more about reports later. So we're going to create a CER. We have the option of copying from a previous CER, or we can go ahead and fill one out. So by selecting a line of business, it populates the line of business department divisions. So you can see corporate and Epsilon had different department divisions. Enter a project name, and then also a PeopleSoft project number. So when I entered this project number, we actually made a service call to PeopleSoft that pulled back the project description. This validates that it's a valid project number, as well as gives some more information about the project number to help the user select the correct one. So there's some more information that you can enter, such as a project start date and a project end date. And here we have the annual capital budget section. So you saw the budget file earlier. This is how we tie the CER back to the budget. And it populates some information that we entered during the budget. We have the option of adding attachments. So you could add attachments such as information about a vendor. The approvers down the line can see the attachments that are added. At the bottom, we have a summary section for project cost details. So that's going to summarize the information that we enter on tab 2. So on the second tab, we want to add the individual lines that give details about this capital expenditure request. So you would enter, what are you going to buy, whether it's capital or expense. So whenever we come to the account information, we're actually doing another service call to PeopleSoft. So we are entering 3 numbers, and PeopleSoft is returning us a list of all accounts that have those 3 numbers. Whenever you enter a balance sheet account, it automatically populates the income statement account. So you can see that service call again for the purchase orders, where it returns a list of all of the accounts. And you can see the account description. This just again helps the user make sure they're selecting the correct account. So there's some other information here. I'll go ahead and make it full screen. So this is just line item details, such as how much you're going to spend. The next part is to select the approvers. You want to select the accountant, the owner, or controller who need to approve this CER. For the demo purposes, we'll select Jessica Ray as the approver. So another one of the requirements that we have is that at least one of the approvers has the required authority to approve the CER. So if the CER is, say, $150,000, I need to make sure that one of my approvers has the authority to approve that value. So whenever I try to submit, I'm going to get an error message that says, the selected approvers do not have the required authority to approve it. So I can go back and move the CER back down to dollar value that the approvers do have the authority to approve, or I would need to add an approver with who has the correct authority. So you can add comment. So now that it's been submitted, the CER is going to be routed to the accountant. So the accountant will have the CER. It'll show up in their work list. They are able to edit some of the information. However, they are not allowed to edit the total project cost. So if the accountant comes in here and tries to take the CER from a $1,500 CER to a $2,500 CER, they get an error. The accountant has the ability to add additional approvers if they would like. If they want their manager to look at it or another accountant in their department to look at it, they can add them on the routing tab. They can approve the CER, and the CER will then be routed to the owner. So one of the other features of this application is mobile approvals. So the owner got an email, so they opened up Outlook or any other kind of email application, and you see details about the CER formatted for the email. They can see the budget information here. They can also see the attachments. They can see who has previously approved the CER, and they can select approve or reject. So we selected approve CER, and they can add comments, and then they just hit send. So that's going to send the information back through BPM, and it's going to approve the CER. So we're on the search page, and I'm going to search for the CER that I just approved. And I can go to the CER Actions button over here on the right, and I can view the audit trail. So this audit trail tells you the information about the CER, but you can see there that the owner approved the CER and that the comments are included in the audit trail. So while we're on the search page, there's a few things that an admin can do. They can complete a CER, so when the project's finished, they can go and enter a go live date, or they can decertify a CER. So if the CER goes over budget, they can hit decertify, and this will kick it back to the requester, who will need to edit it and send it back through the approval process. So you can see right there, I have resubmit decertified CER. So the admin decertified it, and it came back to the requester. So now we can see the CER reports. What we're doing here is we're pulling data from PeopleSoft Actuals and combining it with the CER data and showing it through an OBIEE report. And then this report is shown through Web Center. One of the reports I specifically wanted to highlight is this 10% threshold report. So this is any CER that goes over budget by 10% or greater, shows up in this report. But this report will actually kick off the decertification process that you saw earlier on the search page. So the OBIEE report will kick off the decertification process, and it will automatically decertify the CERs.